All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Good evening, everyone. I call to order tonight's meeting of the Temecula Traffic Safety Commission at 6 o'clock, and we will begin tonight with the flag salute led by Commissioner Carter.
Join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, before we move ahead to the roll call, tonight I have the unfortunate job of announcing the passing of a friend and colleague of ours, Commissioner Brad Sullivan. Brad was loved by many in this community, and he served his community in many ways, including 8 years here on the commission with us. And he did, I think, more for the city than some people know. In our final conversation, he spoke very optimistically about how much he was looking forward to our next meeting and how eager he was to get back to work. And he really had that level of dedication, I think, in every aspect of his life, and that's something that I admired very much about him. I think we're all still trying to process his absence here, but at the same time, I feel like he's still with us in some way, whether that's in spirit or by way of the things that he set in motion and the example that he set for us. Brad is with us. So it falls on us now to carry on with the work that he started. It's up to us to take care of business tonight as Brad would have wanted. And so on that somber note, we will go ahead and continue with the roll call, please.
Commissioner Ackerman?
Here.
Carter?
Here.
Maddox?
Here.
Richardson?
Here.
Thank you.
All right, that brings us to the public comment section of our meeting on non-agendized items. And as I understand, we do have a public comment this evening, so I'll go ahead and read the rules. A total of 30 minutes is provided for members of the public to address the commission on matters not listed on the agenda. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. Public comments may be made in person at the meeting by submitting a speaker card to the commission secretary over there. Speaker cards will be called in the order received. Still images may be displayed on the projector. All other audio and visual use is prohibited. Public comments may also be submitted by email for inclusion into the record. Email comments must be received prior to the time the item is called for public comments and submitted to Traffic Safety Commission at temeculaca.gov. All public participation is governed by council policy regarding public participation at meetings adopted by resolution number 2021-54. And let's go ahead and call our first speaker, please.
Yes, Bob, you may come up.
Microphone's off there.
Sorry to have to make you read that. I've read it many, many times, particularly this year. I'm here to honor Commissioner Bradley Sullivan, and I served 5 years with him here, as all of you have. And besides Bradley being a great commissioner and doing a lot of things for the city in this capacity, he was also president of his HOA and served many, many years in that capacity in our city as well. Brad also had a lot of other experience as a commissioner and in other public safety roles throughout his career, and all of it was voluntary, which when you have a full-time job, that can be an exceptional dedication to your community. So I just like to honor him and make sure that he was recognized, and as David, as you did, I think that was a great recognition, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Okay, and we have no other speakers?
No other speakers tonight.
Perfect. All right. That brings us to the consent calendar, where all items will be considered to be routine and enacted by one roll call vote. And we have just one item tonight. That is number 1, to approve the action minutes of October 24, 2024.
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner Ackerman,
Aye.
Carter,
Aye.
Maddox,
Aye.
Richardson.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, that passes. And we are on to business now. Assuming we have no public comment on business items tonight,
No public comments.
we'll skip the reading of the rules then and take item number 2, La Serena Way and Calle Medusa stop control analysis. And we'll have the staff report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. This presentation is in regards to all-way stop control analysis at the intersection of La Serena Way and Calle Medusa. So in 2024, city staff has received several resident requests to review this intersection for feasibility of implementation of an all-way stop control. Some of the concerns that have been brought to our attention are excessive speeding, limited visibility at the intersection of La Serena and Calle Medusa. Staff performed field reviews at this intersection as well as a review of vehicular speed and volume data. And based on these reviews, we determined that this intersection was in fact needed to be studied further for an all-way stop control. So just some background on the two roadways that are affected here. It is a T intersection. La Serena Way is a 64-foot wide secondary arterial roadway. It provides access to several homes, as you can see on the picture on the slide there.
So I realize you guys aren't seeing the presentation right now, so I'm sure they're working on it in the back, but I just want to make sure Eric knew as he's
I did not.
referencing the presentation. So they're working on it, but we'll give you as much detail as we can visually as they're working on the visuals, okay? Thank you.
Yes, thanks.
I was wondering why everyone was looking at me instead of the presentation. Good to know. So back to La Serena, it's about a little bit over 6,800 ADT. Posted speed limit is 40 miles per hour. In review of the speeds, we did find that the average speed in the area was closer to 44, at peak 47. So there is a little bit of speeding close to this intersection. Most of you have been out there and know that it is kind of on a downhill at this intersection, so that might contribute to some of these higher speeds. Calle Medusa is a 44-foot wide residential collector. Gives access to several homes in that area as well, and it carries about 2,465 ADT per day. A lot of that is because it is a connection between Nicholas Road and La Serena, so it is partially a cut-through area, and it is posted at 25 miles per hour. So to determine if all-way stop was warranted at this intersection, staff performed field reviews and collected data at the intersection. Some of that data included intersection volumes, review of the collision history, and evaluation of sight distance from Calle Medusa. So as part of the data collection, entering volumes were collected over a 3-month period using our streetlight data software. We chose to study the entering volumes from January to March of 2024, just because we wanted to get more accurate traditional data for the intersection prior to the detour that was implemented with the Nicholas Road extension work. Collision history was also collected for the past 3 years using our Crossroads analytics database, and only one accident was actually found at that intersection. And that was actually not 2 vehicles, it was just a vehicle with a bicycle. So this data was utilized to run the multi-way stop warrant analysis for the intersection. So the multi-way stop warrant analysis requires us to verify that the three main warrants are satisfied. Glad to see you guys have a presentation now.
Are we scaring you, staring at you?
No. A little intimidating, but. So we have to make sure that the first three warrants are met. Those are the minimum traffic volumes, collision history for the intersection, and roadway characteristics. As you can see on the slide, highlighted in red, only the first warrant was actually satisfied, and that was the minimum traffic volumes over an 8-hour period. So since only one warrant was met, this intersection was not justified for all-way stop control based off of the failure of meeting those three warrants. However, as you know, the policy does allow us to review other criteria to make sure, to verify if the all-way stop is warranted there. I highlighted those in red as well. Some of those include visibility, which is one that we typically use to verify if an all-way stop can be implemented. Also, the need to control left turn conflicts out of the intersection. And multi-way stop installation is compatible with circulation needs for the residential area, since there are so many homes fronting La Serena and Calle Medusa. So a site distance evaluation was performed at the intersection. As you can see, for a 40-mile-per-hour roadway, we're required to meet a minimum of 300 feet of site distance. Since we found that the speeds were a little bit higher close to this intersection, I would have liked it to be closer to the 45-mile-per-hour needed visibility, which would be 360 feet. As you can see, facing east, which is the difficult direction for visibility, we only meet 255 feet. Looking west, we have more than enough, meeting 900 feet of visibility. So based on evaluation of the intersection site distance criteria, staff has concluded that there is a justification for multi-way stop controls at this intersection of La Serena Way and Calle Medusa. So tonight, the staff's recommendation for the commission is to recommend the city council adopt a resolution establishing multi-way stop controls at the intersection of La Serena Way and Calle Medusa. And that concludes the presentation, and I can open it up to any questions you have.
Great, thank you for that detailed presentation. We'll go ahead and open it up to questions, comments.
Yeah, so I did go drive a couple exits off Medusa to go towards Butterfield, and that site distance is very challenging.
Yeah.
So I like this one. Let me ask, there's already a stop sign at Walcott, which is the next street over. How close is that?
It was 1,200 feet away.
1,200 feet away?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's not an issue, putting another stop sign here?
I don't believe so. I mean, we have the traffic signal at Butterfield Stage Road and La Serena as well, and that one's only 900 feet away from that stop sign, and it performs just fine. I think it's more important for us to provide a little bit of safer egress and ingress to the residents on Calle Medusa, because like you said, it is a very tough left turn to make out of there. We've studied this intersection a few times in the past, and in the past we've reduced landscape, and as time has gone on, that landscape has matured, so it's not really an option for us anymore. Yeah.
Thanks.
So when I was growing up, learning to drive, I had a family member that lived on Calle Medusa, and so I'm very familiar driving to and from there, and it's very challenging to turn out of there. It always has been. I think that this is a great option. I think it also, we didn't really talk about it, but that downhill road feeds right into an elementary school right there. So this, I feel like, should be able to help control some of that speed that gets built up there and help drivers pay attention as they're going down. I mean, the one accident we had was a bicycle and a car, which could be related to that. So I think this is long overdue and good. Thank you.
Great, I had a few questions. So first pertains to the Traffic Signal Prioritization Ad Hoc Committee, which, as I understand, is developing a new list of intersections for possible future traffic signal consideration. I just wanted to double check. I know the volumes came in a little bit low on this maybe, but is there any preliminary direction from the council subcommittee that we should be taking into account tonight?
Not to date, not that I'm aware of. I know, I believe, Ron can add on this, I believe this was one of the intersections that we had on the list. I don't know if it was one of the top priorities, but I don't think we can wait that long for this intersection. So I think temporarily, I think an all-way stop would work for this intersection.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. Second question is having to do with where the warrant analysis looked at, I guess, the visibility east from the intersection, which we saw was a problem. I was curious, looking at it from the other direction, from the perspective of a car kind of traveling west on that downhill around that turn. When I went out there to look at it, there's no foliage on the trees now, but that could even complicate it more. And would we want to look at maybe a stop ahead type of warning sign?
Yeah, that'll be part of our design. We typically always put stop ahead signs in advance, as well as the pavement legends. So it's definitely going to be something that we would implement with that. Another thing that we were looking at was possibly adding pedestrian crosswalks at this intersection. But since there are no existing ramps on the other side of the T, it'd be something that we'd have to implement later. Maybe piggyback on a citywide concrete repair project and implement it then.
Right. Okay, and then on the subject of crosswalks, I saw there's that existing one there that's got just the kind of the old style transverse lines, and I wanted to double check if we are planning to upgrade that to more high visibility continental style striping.
Yeah, so moving forward, that's our standard. Anytime we have a chance to improve an intersection, if you take a look at some of the rehabs that have been done recently, we're always requesting that the continentals are implemented. For example, the rehab we just did on Pachanga Parkway, those were all redone with those continentals. So that's going to be our standard moving forward.
Fantastic. Great. And then, so I think that answers my last question, was about the other crosswalks along that same road segment. They're not part of this intersection that we're looking at tonight, but I would assume next time there's a pavement rehab project on that segment, then we would look at updating the high visibility on those.
Yeah, that's correct.
Great. Okay, that takes care of all my questions. Any more comments? I think we're ready for a motion if maybe Commissioner Ackerman would like to do the honor.
I would. I'll move it.
Second.
Commissioner Ackerman,
Aye.
Carter,
Aye.
Maddox,
Aye.
and Richardson.
Aye.
Thank you.
Great. All right, and then on to our second business item, number 3, all-way stop at Papa Road and Via Del Monte. And we'll go ahead and hear the staff report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This presentation is in regards to an all-way stop control installation at the intersection of Paba Road and Via Del Monte. So in October of 24, city staff was notified by the County of Riverside regarding a proposed project on Paba Road from Via Del Monte and Calle Contento. Currently, this segment of Paba Road is actually privately maintained by the local residents. However, in preparation of accepting it for maintenance, the county is proposing to perform some improvements on this segment of roadway. So some of the work that's being proposed by the County of Riverside is pavement rehabilitation on Paba Road from Via Del Monte to Calle Contento. To bring it up to an adequate structural pavement section. From what we were told, the road was actually paved and paid for by the local residents, so they're going to be improving that to an adequate structural section for emergency vehicles. So another item would be signing and striping improvements that they're planning to do on this roadway, and the installation of an all-way stop control with pedestrian crosswalks at the intersection of Paba Road and Via Del Monte. So since the southwest corner of the intersection is within our city limits, the County of Riverside provided their design for our review and approval. And these are just a couple of snippets of that plan set. Staff has reviewed the all-way stop design and the signing and striping design for this roadway, and we agree with the installation of this all-way stop and crosswalks. So we actually did, one of our comments was to include the continental pedestrian crosswalks that you mentioned before. But other than that, their design seemed adequate, and we actually agree with the installation of an all-way stop control at this intersection. There is our Paba Ridge Park there. We've had several complaints in the past of vehicles being able to exit the park just because of the higher speeds in there on that segment of road. So I think this all-way stop will help reduce some of the vehicular conflicts coming out of that park, and it also provide a safe pedestrian and trail crossing at Via Del Monte. There is an existing sidewalk and trail that goes along our frontage, and the new frontage for the horse trail or just pedestrian trail is going to be on the opposite side of on Pava Road on the county side. So this is a good crossing for us to include and have a safe crossing for pedestrians and any other users that will be using that. The work is scheduled, from what we've been told, to tentatively begin in spring of next year. And so with that, staff recommends to the commission that you receive and file this report, and that concludes the presentation. I can open it up to any questions you have.
Great. Any questions starting on this side, starting down there? All right. Yeah, I think you took care of all my questions too, and I'm just, I know every one of these private road situations is different, but I'm glad that this one isn't ending up like another Sandia Creek type of situation like they had out in Duluth. So I'm really happy with what the County Board of Supervisors has done here, especially our supervisor, Chuck Washington, for really making this project happen. So we don't have a vote on this. This is just a receive and file. So consider it received and filed. And we will move on to division reports. Do we have any reports today? Okay, no worries. Okay, no worries, no worries. Any questions on any of those? All right, we'll go ahead and receive and file those as well.
They set you up, didn't they? You're supposed to do a 20-minute
No.
presentation.
Thank you for joining us, though. Great, and then we are on to the director report.
All right. Well, commissioners, we just want to thank you for this year. It's been a good year of, multifaceted projects that you guys have been able to look at. Not just projects, but reports, local safety reports, all the various presentations that were here, and we really appreciate everyone's hard work. We know we went through a little spot in the summer where we had a couple meetings canceled, but it seems like we're getting back on track, and we're looking forward to the new year. And so just wanted to give our heartfelt thanks for everything that you guys do. Certainly, we're going to miss Commissioner Ackerman, but we understand, with lifestyle and work in other cities and family, that it's going to be difficult to stay on, and so we really appreciate everything that you did. But also, this commission will be supplemented by Mr. Larry Slusser, who's in the audience right now. And so he's coming on board, and he'll be sworn in at your next regular commission meeting. So we look forward to his attendance as well. And the last thing I'll say also with regards to the year and to, I wanted to make sure that you're aware that the council will be reaching out, so will the city clerks, city managers, to say thank you very much. And part of that thank you is on your desk there, the mug that was provided, one of those big Stanley mugs for liquids. So hope you all enjoy that. That came from our city manager for you. And like I said, really appreciate everything you guys have done for the entire year. And then I'll close my report with, David brought it up regarding Commissioner Sullivan, and he certainly will be missed. He was a big part of this commission for the years I've been here. And I was able to speak with his fiancee, Iris, today. She's currently not in California. The death of Commissioner Sullivan has really shook her. Her daughter took her back to Texas. She's going to be there for a few weeks. When she returns, she'll make the necessary arrangements, and we'll pass that along to this commission, that if you would like to go pay your respects, there will be something that she initiates, and I'll make sure to give you guys that information when she returns. So just keep, his fiancee Iris in your thoughts and prayers, and of course, we'll certainly miss our Commissioner Sullivan. So that's how I'll conclude. Thank you very much.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just one thing, are these the recalled Stanley ones? that they-
They were discounted, so I don't know.
Okay.
All right, thank you for the report. Oh, one more? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
go ahead.
David.
The new law that's coming into effect on January 1 regarding parking 20 feet from an intersection,
Mm-hmm.
is that impacting us in any way?
Yes, yeah, so we'll be looking at various locations, probably future work orders will be implementing that. We're not gonna go out and paint the entire city at all of these intersections, but we've already had requests, we've had people coming to us, certain developers, certain residents, concerns regarding, because they know about this, so we'll be tackling it as we can and as we move along in our work orders. Do you have anything further? And
No
then,
worries.
if I could add one more, and Eric nudged me, I forgot all about the fact that we have a major detour coming up in January. So before we meet again, that detour is going to be in place January 14th. That's the Winchester northbound on-ramps are going to be shut down at the 15. So first will be the slip ramp that is basically the westbound travel coming from like Yanez, coming from Winchester. You will not be able to get on that northbound on-ramp, that straight on-ramp. And that'll last approximately 3 weeks, maybe a month. And then the loop-on northbound, same northbound, will also be shut down consecutively right after. Of course, this is our timetable right now as we speak, so it's going to be a good month and a half of closures. And there'll be some pain, but if there are efficiencies that can be gained and maybe work can be done in tandem, we'll see. But we're giving the most conservative closure that's going to be right now. In order to make the CD lanes constructed underneath, you have to shut these two down. So it's going to be a difficult detour. However, it's necessary in order for the project to move forward. And we've known about it for a long time, but we decided the best time frame was going to be right after the holidays. And then lastly, in case you do get questions, the detour is going to send everybody back to Rancho California Road. So it's going to send you south to go north. And I know that that is counterintuitive, and a lot of people they're going to find their way. They're going to find their way on Yanez and Jackson and Jefferson. And we understand that, but due to Caltrans standards and the length it was to Murrieta Hot Springs, they did not want to make a detour, go into another city and be that long. So therefore, we have to handle the detour solely as ours in the city of Temecula. It's not ideal because we know that the traffic is going to go where it wants to go, but we'll do enough CMS boards, we'll do enough notifications, social media, notifying Google and Waze and everybody that this is happening, and hopefully it'll go a lot smoother than what it could be. So just want to make sure you guys are aware. I'm sure people knowing that you're on the Traffic Commission, there's going to be questions.
Yeah, I'd just say the social media outreach in particular has been outstanding on that. I mean, the videos that I think Christine Damko has been putting together on those, very informative, and I always point people to those for.
Yeah, and we've encouraged our neighbors, our cities, Murrieta, Lake Elsinore, use our videos, post them on their social media so that people are aware, because we're not afraid to say it's a City of Temecula project. We're proud of it. It's gone very well.
Yeah.
So we'll take the pain in order to get to some rewards. So just want to make sure everybody is aware. And like you said, social media has been excellent in the outreach.
Yeah, for sure. Any other comments or questions on Director's report? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I had a few items. First of all, I just got my reminder yesterday about Commissioner Ethics trainings coming. Don't forget, you're exempt, I think. But we all got to do that by the end of the year. I did have a couple items looking forward for future items and just to make note of. One is on Rancho Vista. You know, we have that 50-mile-an-hour stretch all the way from Meadows, all the way across, right? And that first 50-mile-an-hour sign is just past Meadows, and yet there's an elementary school right there. It's a little worrisome to me that that whole segment is not broken up into subsegments. And then on the more rural part, where you have the one thin lane on the north side, the wider lane on the south side, I would think we would want to look at extending the bike lane that is not there. So the bike lane stops at Meadows heading westbound and then resumes at the district office. It's not continued all the way through. Now, have we talked about that?
I don't think we've talked about that here, but I know that there was a potential for a few projects in that location that would take that bike lane into account. But we could definitely take a look at it if we can do something in the interim to maybe add the bike lane.
Yeah, so it just seems like, you know, adding bike lanes, narrower lane, slower speeds, speed limit goes down. So just that's a segment I think we should be thinking about. The other item I had, and I have pictures if you want to pass down to the guys down there too. And this is something Commissioner Hagel and I have noticed. We go for old guy walks typically Friday mornings. And at Harveston Drive and the Harveston Community Park, we have a rapid flashing beacon crosswalk there. And it's a 42-foot wide road, and there's some curvature there. And yet when we go over to Birdsall Sports Park at Wolf Creek and Rocky Bar, I mean, to me, the curvature of the road looks the same, and the speeds, if anything, are higher. And so I would love to see a crosswalk here as well. I know for Bob and I trying to cross after our loop to get back to our car, it took us a while, and it was not without some worry to cross there. And I think also from a liability standpoint, if you put one place and the other place is exactly the same, you know, that might not be good in the long run. So I know I've talked to Nick about this, and it's been looked at, and the decision was no, but I think it might be time to look at it and ask ourselves, what's the difference?
Yeah, I know we did study this intersection as part of that section of the corridor, and we installed an all-way stop with crosswalks at Teton Trail, I believe.
Yeah.
But we can take another look at it. At that time, there wasn't much pedestrian activity from the counts we got, but we can take a look again and see if...
We were walking when it was getting close to school time, and there were people crossing to Birdsall there, including us.
Okay.
So I would just like another look just to make sure we're not missing something.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, other commissioner reports? Well, I want to, just say a few quick words for Commissioner Ackerman over there. I want to thank you for serving on the commission. I know since joining, you've taken on a lot of responsibilities outside of this. I don't know how you balance it all, but I'm grateful that you still came prepared to meetings, really put in the effort, and really saw this commitment through. I think with your departure, we're going to be losing a really important perspective that none of the rest of us up here can really replace. So that's going to be tough. But looking at it from maybe a more positive angle is that our loss here is going to be the community's gain, because I know you're going to continue to have a huge impact in the work that you do every day. So just wanted to thank you for giving us 3 years of your time, and we'll see you around.
Sorry, I didn't realize we were doing commission reports now, but hey, I just want to say it's been a privilege to be able to do this. I appreciate all the help along the way. I've learned a ton. Ton of respect for your guys' department and all the work you guys put in. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes that I really didn't understand before coming in here, and as pretty much a lifelong citizen, it's very much appreciated. So thank you, and then fellow commissioners, it's good to be surrounded by people who are smarter than me. It helps me out. But no, it's, like you said and Ron said, I've taken on some other responsibilities. That's the reason that I chose not to apply. We've got some new individuals coming in, fresh perspectives. That's always healthy. That's going to be good, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen there. But yeah, no, it's been absolute privilege. I would also like to just say that I didn't know about Brad's passing until today, and it's a big loss for the city. It's a big loss in general. He was a great person, wealth of knowledge, but just a genuine human being. And I feel like whenever he would bring something up, it was always pertinent, valuable, and spot on. Like one of those people that's the definition of speak softly, carry a big stick, because he would come with something that you're like, where did that come from? But yeah, it's awful to see him go. I will definitely miss interacting with him. And I would ask Ron if it's possible, because I probably won't be still getting the emails after this, or anyone, when you do find out information on a service, please let me know. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Before I announce our next meeting, any final comments? All right. Well, our next regular meeting of the Temecula Traffic Safety Commission will be held on Thursday, January 23rd, 2025. At that time, we will be swearing in our commissioner-elect, and thank you again for joining us tonight. I think it portends well that you're already here doing the homework, jumping in with both feet, so appreciate you being here. Until then, we will adjourn this meeting and adjourn the year in memory of our friend Brad Sullivan.